Hey, I see we have a couple people already. Awesome. Thank you everyone for joining. Hi Kim, hi Momo. This week we will turn one of the blanks that actually went out today to all the competitors for the competition blanks into a writing pen. We have a new member to the group that is wanting to learn how to turn and asked for a video from start to finish on the basics of turning. Good evening, Darren. I hope you are doing well yourself. Yeah, the colors are aimed to be kind of like St. Patty's Day, emerald green, gold, white, and black. I have a very strong family heritage that dates way back to Ireland. On my biological father's side, I have a lot of family that dates way back to, they know when they came over. So St. Patty's Day is a good holiday for us. How's the weather, Glenn? It is 5 o'clock on the money. So remember that the replays are always available the next day, posted in a group as soon as YouTube has them available to me. Hey, Crystal Good is on. It's been a little chilly, Glenn, huh? 84 in Texas. I spent a little time in Texas. It was in the low 90s when I was there in December one year. It was 9:30 at night and still 91, 92 degrees. All right. So, in the essence of time, we will go ahead and get started. This will be a start to finish rather quickly of a EcoZen. Hopefully the client that requested a start to finish video shows up. That way she can see it live and ask questions. As always, 10.5 millimeter tube, 10.5 millimeter drill bit, it's always a good idea to verify the size of your tube before you start on something. Sometimes they do make mistakes. So it comes out 10.25 and requires a 10.5 millimeter drill bit. Should be close. I always recommend roughing up the tube depending on where you get your kits from. Sometimes the tube comes rough, sometimes the tube doesn't. We always just take a piece of 80 or 120 sandpaper and rough up the tube. What this does is it gives it more surface area for the CA glue or epoxy to adhere. That part's ready to go. I have already trimmed our blank to about the same length as our tube. I'm going to try to do this without the dust collector, just so that we can narrate while it's turning. As we have all seen some videos recently in pins turning of somebody drilling too fast, I recommend around 400 or 500 RPMs to drill. You're going to want to bring your drill bit up close, lock down your tool rest or tailstock, and advance slowly. As you can see, there are large ribbons coming off. When the ribbons get smaller and more fine, that's a sign that it's time to back out. This is not anything fancy of a drill bit. It is available from Woodcraft or anywhere else. It is a fish pin maker's drill bit. I have found that it works the best for resin versus a conventional brad point. It may take you a little longer to drill it, but it's all right. It's better to be safe than sorry. To back out a few times and drill slow. Don't drill fast. Don't apply a lot of pressure. Failures are less likely. And when you know you're getting close to the end of where your bit's going to be, always try to go slow to prevent any blowouts at the end. If you're putting a lot of pressure and you're drilling fast, the risk of a blowout is imminent. As I assure you I have done many times, as well as anyone else that's a turner in this group. You do a lot of things that you're unsure of when you start out, just trying to figure out what works the best. Okay, that part's done. Now comes the very fun part of gluing in the tube, cleaning up the tube. Fairly centered, so we got lucky. I always clean the tube with a little spritz of alcohol down it, let it dry. It just ensures that you have a better result. No guarantee, but a big improvement. And a pin insertion tool or tube insertion tool helps a lot as well. You can buy this in a short, mid, like a mini or a stubby. As you can see, this one's starting to get a fair amount of buildup on the end. That's easily fixed. You can chuck it up in your pin jaws. This is a Nova chuck with pin jaws, and apply the tailstock to the very end and let it turn between centers, and just take the sandpaper and clean this up. We can do that in another video of just shop maintenance. Okay, we have our tube, we have a blank. We will go ahead and apply a little bit of mercury medium CA glue. A little bit goes in each end. This just helps a more uniform fit. A generous amount on the tube. And if we're really lucky, I won't get any of this on my fingers, but I'm usually not that fortunate. I like to slide the tube in there, give it a little spin, and twist at the same time. Push the tube all the way in to where it's just flush inside the surface. Make sure there's nothing hanging out the other side, and we're good. And remember that Mercury says you should use an accelerator, and we will. just a light spot of it, and we'll let that sit. And while that sits and cures, we will go ahead and start turning our diamond pen, and we'll come back to this. It needs to sit, I usually like to see at least 5 or 6 minutes. We can put this would be a 60-degree live center. It goes in the tailstock. And we can take our pen jaws out. And we have a 60-degree dead center to go on our headstock. I took the liberty of going ahead and drilling a blank and getting it ready. It takes a 7/32 drill bit in each end. Some people prefer no bushing. I prefer the bushings. We buy our bushings from tbcbushings.com, and it works fairly well for what we're going to do. And there was a request earlier with a drop that we did that had some blanks that were black and white and an ice blue color resin with them. So that we can oblige them, we will be turning that this evening. And remember, it'll be given away tomorrow. If you are a subscriber, you give us a like on this evening's live and a comment. And then tomorrow we'll see who commented, and we will figure out the winner. We'll put them in a random number generator, and away we'll go. Turn the tailstock down, tighten it up, set the handle of the tailstock, which would be there. Okay. And remember, this is starting as a square, so we will have to round it over. Let's see who all we have. Thank you. Thanks everyone for being on. The green blank should be gorgeous. And Kupaki Art recommended or requested that we turn an ice cream scoop this evening. Well, we'll get to that just shortly. And here's the blank for it. Okay. Here we go. And in order to start, like anything else you start that's square, it takes, we like to use the end of a carbide non-negative rake, just standard rake, and just round it over, and then we'll go from there. Always want to be at or below your center line. If you're above your center line with resin, you run the risk of creating a blowout or breaking the blank. I always turn the tool just slightly square and on its edge. We need a little more tailstock pressure and probably a little more speed. I apologize if it's a little noisy. If it's too noisy, someone make a comment and we'll try to fix it. And always wear a face shield when you're ironing. You should always wear a face shield when turning. are pretty close to round. Hey, my wife is on here. Thanks for joining us. She has always been a good supporter of all the crazy ideas that I've ever had and ever tried. And most of the time they work out. Very little failure. Steve says, hi, wife. All right. Let's make it completely round and make it into something useful, not just a chunk of resin. If you can hear, it's still slightly square. Once it gets round, it gets quieter. If you find that your blank keeps stalling like that, tighten your tail sock or increase your speed. Not looking too bad. I think it looks fairly sharp, and it will only get better. This may be the first time we get to see these turned, because I don't think anybody else has turned any yet. Let's put some marks on it and figure out where we want to be for size and length. This one may be a little long. .4 inches. So 2.7 should be real close to center. We will verify that from the other end, and it looks like we are on the money. So here's our center line. Technology. Isn't that great, Tom? Wait till you see what I have in store for you. Let's go with just a basic shape. And this one should turn out fairly thick. It's currently at 7/8, just a shade over. You hate computers. You know, I saw an interview once with Vanilla Ice, and somebody asked him why he was so hung up in the 90s, and his comment was, the 90s was the greatest time in America before the computer ruined the world. There's a lot to be said for that. Okay, here we go. Hey, Mayor Mazur joined us. Not enough marks, has disappeared. As we have said in the past, we don't sell diamond pins, but we do give them away. Just like this evening, we work with some really great turners that are out there, and if anybody's interested, you can find them on our page often, or we do drops in their groups often. But if you're looking for writing pens, we can help you out with that, or we can set you up with one of the great members of the group and get something made. This is the hardest tool to get used to because it does not take much effort to remove entirely too much material or to cause yourself a bunch of turmoil with because it got stuck or took the tool away from you or something of that nature. Pardon the dust. Yes, this is a diamond painting pen. Ha! I could put it on VHS. Yeah, on reel to reel. I still have a vintage reel to reel from the 70s. I don't think I have much left on VHS. Let's see. Are we happy with the overall shape? Yeah. One end's a little thicker, one's a little thinner. You know, as my wife says, when you diamond paint for a while, sometimes you need to change the grip size so your hand doesn't become cramped or uncomfortable. Hey, Steve's back. All right. Looks like we're ready to polish this one up, and we'll be finished with it. Man, do I have something great for Pond. Wait till he sees this. We go ahead and get our Zona paper out. As always, if you have any turning questions or any blank questions, anything custom made, reach out anytime. Most days we only sleep 3 to 5 hours, so reach out anytime. How about that, Pond? I made sure that I printed a pink one this week just for today. Get some extra green Zona paper. Hot pink. We'll go ahead and put our Zona paper in here and fold it, wet it. As we've said before, always fold the white. This will actually give us a really good chance to see how well the Zona paper finish works, because this will be a clear blank. In some spots it is totally transparent or translucent, whichever. Oh, it's not that I don't think you'll take it, but I wanted to make sure that I printed a pink one just in case. And honestly, it can be the good running joke of the lot. I will gladly use the pink one every week. Not a big deal. But I already put your orange one in the mail. All right. Remember that when you sand with Zona paper, we usually say right around 800. And we'll begin our sanding and polishing with this. I probably should have. Give me 1 second. Let's clean that up a little bit. It's a little rougher than what I want to start with. We'll take one final pass on it. That's better. It is definitely bright, huh, Darren? Hey, Caden joined us as well. Ha! Hey, thanks for joining us. I know it's late where you're at. Really late. Hey, Crystal, thanks for joining us as well. All right. I think we should have named this the Storm Winds Blank because it's a lot what it looks like. Do we have any questions while we're polishing? This is a great time to ask. It's a rather mindless task. Hey, thanks for joining us, Lori. And the debut of our pond pink water container. You won't let me have it. Oh, I'll gladly ship it to you. If you want to ship the orange one back, no big deal. Or you can have them both. Doesn't matter to me. I've got enough material to print another one. If not, wood or roll. We do have some nice storage trays that are in the printer right now that will be black with these pink accents for the hinges and other material. What chisels do I have? I have the Easy Wood Tools. That is the Easy Start set. You can buy them in any size. The maple colored ones were the Easy Start, and the one with the yellow handle is the micro size. It is smaller than the mini. The mini would be essentially the Easy Start, and then the micro set will come as a three-piece set. You can get it in various sizes depending on what tools you're using or what your intended purpose is. I have a full-size pro set for bowl turning, but that set is for just the micro set. Oh man, I will gladly name something after the infamous pond from Pennsylvania. No problem at all. I'm definitely proud to say that. If we would like to see some more beadwork done, we can do a writing pen or a diamond pen with the beading tools as well in upcoming weeks. An emoji missing a tooth. Yeah, right. I believe there is one. Somebody will be able to put one up for you. This process takes the longest, is making sure that it's smooth. For some reason this evening, my turning wasn't that smooth. The carbide felt a little dull, but we'll just sand it out. It'll be fine. Just takes just a minute longer. The biggest thing about turning is don't get in a hurry. It is meant to be a solace. It is a solace for many of us. I know for Steve, Pond, Darren, and myself, it is very much a solace. We'll speed this up a little bit to try to knock down some of those bigger ridges, do a little more shaping quickly. Remember that the green does the most amount of work. It will do the most work on your blanks or your pens. Remember though, if you do increase speed with such a high friction or low grit piece like the green, you will increase heat rather quickly. Diamond painting is your therapy. I can agree. My wife does it a lot when she's stressed and when she feels like it, and it definitely is good therapy and it is a solace for her. She's more into getting images made into custom paintings and doing them for family gatherings or holidays or the loss of a loved one or a celebration of something as well. And as far as diamond pins go, she has several nice ones. And as far as writing pins go, between her and my daughter, I think they have the greatest collection of pens I've ever made. In the beginning, there were lots that were gorgeous that never saw anybody else's hands because they quickly were there to snatch them. Ha! Turning may have been cheaper than therapy when you started, but as you amass much of a collection to do much with, it isn't cheap. I'm always humbled when somebody says, it only cost a couple $100 to get into turning and make, what, a pen or a bowl? Yeah, you might be able to find a used lathe for next to nothing and use a stick to carve with and maybe do it for that cheap, but oftentimes not. Anybody that turns will tell you that it's an expensive addiction, but it allows you to craft stuff that not a lot of people do anymore. Like Venison is free, great. Yeah, it's not free meat at all, ever. We'll polish the ends up a little bit there. We'll see what it looks like. It's starting to get there. Any opinions? I forgot Nancy as a turner is with us as well. Sorry about that, Nancy. Let's say one last pass with a new piece and we'll be in business. That's quite a collection if it'll be there when you pass. Hey, Tammy's on there. Good evening, Tammy. Okay. Hey, we're glad you made it as well. Oh, wow. That is late. Hey, thanks, Pam. You're part of that makes it awesome. Okay, this is our third color zone of paper, so we move up to 1600 RPMs. Ha! You said group. Absolutely right. Good job. Ah, you're more than welcome. We all started somewhere. I assure you, there's probably not anybody that's torn up more blanks and blown up more resin and wood than I have. When I was a young turner and started at 19, I had an old shopsmith lathe without a VFD on it and without a means of slowing it down other than just stepping the belts. And I would always turn green wood and then let it dry. Well, as Pime or anyone else that's turned wood can attest that when it's green, sometimes there are moisture pockets that are heavy and it'll quickly become unbalanced and fly out of there. And I've had more than one piece fly out and bust a garage door panel. I got to where I could change the panels pretty quickly and kept a spare on hand because I knew I'd bust one. If you see this finished and this is a blank that you don't have and you would like one, feel free to PM us in Facebook Messenger or leave a comment here that you would like one, and I'll be sure you get one. We have currently 5 extra and can easily make more. I've got you beat. Huh, I'm surprised. Was a bowl turner long before a pin turner. Turning bowls is always a lot of fun to me. Hey, Tiffany's joining us as well. Thanks, Tiffany. You are in New Zealand, correct? Oh, I've blown out more than one garage door. What's the largest diameter bowl you have turned, Palm, or anyone that's in the group that's turned bowls? Anybody care to comment? Yeah, we turn diamond painting pens, but we don't sell them. We only turn them and give them away. We work with too many groups of great turners that let us share our blanks in their groups, so we don't compete. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, wow. Now, how clean the lens is, how well you can see that. Looking pretty good. Okay, let's go to max speed. We'll begin our final polish. Huh. Tom, if you have any questions, just ask. We've turned a bunch of them. I'll see if I can find one handy in the shop. I have sold just about all that we have ever made. My wife has a couple that she's kept, but most have sold. We have some big ones. I'll see if I can find some pictures of the old ones we've made. They've got some in the 30-inch range. And I could probably start a series when I start the 38-inch bowl and keep posting progress from time to time and do some YouTubes on the 38-inch bowl. What lathe do I have? This is a Laguna 1216. I bought it used on Marketplace, actually for my wife, year before last. It works really well. It's very true. It's very smooth. We like it for pens and smaller stuff like that. And then for bigger bowls and bigger projects, we have a Grizzly G0766. It will handle up to 22 inches over the bed. And then we have made some custom floor tools for the outboard turning and some weights. And it'll handle, the biggest I've done is 38 inches, 36 on it, but it'll handle up to 44. I have a 38 to do. Yeah, yeah, it's huge. It's bigger than a 55-gallon garbage can. A 55-gallon garbage can is usually only about 22 to 24 inches, depending on the manufacturer. So 38 inches is very large, and it's out of a big piece of maple burl, solid sugar maple burl. Because it is a burl, let's hope it stays together. It should be in maple, but no promises. Yeah, yeah, the piece of wood is gorgeous. I'll post some pictures in the group tomorrow if I can find where we harvested the tree trunk and the bowl, the burl from. The burl was 47 inches wide while on the trunk of the tree, and the trunk of the tree is over 60 before the fork. Steve, if you lived a little closer, I'd gladly teach you. That invitation's open to Palm as well. Heck, anyone for that matter. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Looks pretty good. Looks really good. And now we'll apply some old school wax and see what it looks like. There are lots of polishes out there. Use whatever you like. Oh, the gathering. Who's hosting? I coming to Palm's house, or what's going to happen there? Oh, yeah, there's a pin turners gathering in Parkersburg. It's a good time. I've been there the last couple of years. Okay, let's buff it up. See what it looks like. Our sides aren't symmetrical, but it'll be all right. And as always, crystal clear finish. No scratches, no swirls, no marks. Provided by the one and only Zona paper with some 1970s wax. That a little better in focus. Diamond pin bushings. And pardon these man hands, or as they've been called before, bear paws. Make everything look tiny. If there were any turners out there, or I guess they would work for diamond painting as well, we make these neat little 3D printed storage trays. We can print them in any color. We can put dividers in them. I like to use them for all my bushings of different sorts. And we have little organizing trays that can hold 5 or 10 at a time. Okay. turned out nice. I'm shocked. All right, let's go back to our. Do we want to go to the pen next, or do we want to go to? Let's go to the pen. Give me 1 second to trim up the ends. Yes, that would be the holographic glitter. Steve, do you want me to ship you a pink one or an orange one or a black one? And I have lime green. I'll gladly ship you a pink one. Black. Sure don't want lime green or pink? You know, pink's pretty snazzy. Our turn between center bushings. We trimmed up the ends, made them flush. They're clean. We're going to advance our tailstock, set the handle, and we're going to turn. I do have a different pin kit for next week. Yes, you should see an update on our website this week about the 3D printed stuff we have. The website is unbelievableutensils.com, and it should get a big update this week. If there's something you see you want printed, reach out anytime. We do custom prints and stuff like that as well. We are using a negative rate carbide. We're going to stay below the center line, and I like to put just a slight angle on it. It helps relieve some of the edge. Oh, there we go. I did change the carbide. I advanced it by 10 degrees. So we had a new clean edge. This is the downside to turning without a dust collector on, so that you can still hear us talk. It will leave a lot of big chunks, a lot of resin to deal with. Let's leave a little shape on this one instead of just a straight barrel. We're going to feel our edge with our thumb, make sure it looks good, it's flush. We are ready. I'm going to turn this on for just a second to gather up all the dust. All right, now we can polish this and get it ready for assembly. We gotta leave Saturday. Okay, no problem. Thanks for staying up so late. We can try to start doing them on the weekends, maybe during the daylight, so some of our friends across the pond can catch it. Always fold the white. Fold them all, but most importantly the white. When I post the sanding stations on the website, we'll put in there, if you know Palm, you get a discount. The key word that has to be in order to get a discount will be, I know Palm, or I need a Palm paint container. Hey, Tiffany and Reed. Thank you. I'm thinking so. I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of cool stuff made. What's the thoughts on maybe I make a pen for the out of one of the competition blanks and we do a giveaway in the group after everyone votes? What difference a fresh piece of carbide does. Look at that. I would have to say the actual turning itself is my favorite part. Finishing definitely shows the beauty of what you made. It can also be a pain and an arduous task, but turning itself is probably the most is my favorite part. You get to see what kind of creations are within what is normally just a round piece of resin. Once again, in case anyone missed it on our site, the first two colors of Zona paper we do at 800 RPMs. The next two at 1600, and then the last two at max speed or 3200. Steve apparently can't see what I'm posting. Can you see my post with the name of the gathering? Yes. It is the Mid-Ohio Valley Pin Turners Gathering in Parkersburg, West Virginia. It's usually the first or second weekend in August. I can also PM Steve with the details. Jen, I also like when people reach out and request custom color combinations or to match a photo or a memory or something they have. We like to do that as well. That's the difference in being the blank maker and the turner at the same time. I get to work with great turners like Steve and Darren and Nancy and Pine and others that are in the live. They ask a lot of questions regarding, they want custom blanks for this event or for that event. Um, the Bryson brothers out of Florida, I make them some blanks to match as well. Hopefully, in a couple of weeks, I'm able to show you custom fountain pens being turned as well. We have been trying to work on that. I know Darren makes some beautiful ones. Darren and I figured out what size nib and how to make the one-piece body from a friend that I work with. It's a great turner as well. So hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll be able to post that idea. Looking pretty good. Thank you. It is a very beautiful pen. Oftentimes we post them for sale, but I think this one's going to be a personal pen. I really like the colors that are in it. Yes, there are several people that can accommodate you with that. There's a nib holder for your dip pens. We offer some 3D printed nib holders for dip pens as well. Darren can give you a great answer on that, Bob. And I agree. There are lots of people that don't know how to use a fountain pen, and it takes more maintenance than just a regular roller ball. But anybody can learn if they really love the pen itself, and it's not really that hard. Just takes a little maintenance. Yeah, I get it. In all honesty, as far as kit pins go that are fountain pens, the ones from Bullseye Turning have the best nibs. The rest of them that are regular kit pens that are offered in fountain pens, the nibs are not that great and oftentimes cause issues and they're scratchy. As far as the kit pens go in fountain pens, the Artemis or Apollo from Bullseye Turning runs an actual Schmidt nib and has good results. It comes as a medium and it seems to have the best of any kit pen that's out there. The other kit pens that are offered as a fountain pen, the nibs are usually not that great and often scratchy or rough. If you knew how to grind nibs, you can always smooth them up, but the feeders are not that great. But the kit pens from Bullseye have nice nibs that I've not had any issues with. I think I've made about 30. Don't let Darren fool you, Pon. He's a resource and a wealth of turning knowledge and pin knowledge. He's just too humble to talk about it. I think it looks all right. Yeah, I could see the seashore vibes in that. Okay, we pressed our hardware in, we put our spring in. As Steve said earlier, the tube for this kit is very long. He's not wrong, it is, but I particularly like it because it shows off a lot of the blank. Okay, without further hesitation, we will try to turn this big ice cream scoop. You can use a mandrel, but it says to use a 7mm pen mandrel. I don't care for a mandrel. So we're going to try to do it without one. This is the kit from Penn State Industries. It does require you to use a 2-part epoxy to put the pieces in. There is another kit that is from Woodcraft, and I believe Rockler sells it as well. We can turn it in another lathe. It is the kind that takes the knurled insert. This kind requires you to use a 15-30 seconds drill bit and drill the blank the entire way through, and then use a 2-part epoxy to put the handle pieces in. I prefer the threaded ones, but I didn't have any of those handy. Thank you. You had a hand in the color idea. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. This starts out as an 1.5" by 1.5" by 4" blank. It says 3 15/16. I made it 4, squared up the ends, and drilled it. Get a good look. This is what it looks like before, and hopefully it stays together, and we'll see what it looks like when it finishes. Doesn't seem to be too far out of line. The Leviche is a way better kit than the Mistral, by far. Especially with the postable tip. Let's get a good look at this before we go any further. Should look pretty cool. Gonna turn on Any comments on the shape, size? I think the blank looks pretty good. We are making a ice cream scoop. Looks kind of like the melted remnants of cookies and cream. Let's polish it up and see what we can find. As always, back to 800. Get rid of this. Ah, lactose intolerant, huh, Glenn? My son is lactose intolerant. He might still be watching. We'll have to do a big one and make some rocky road, or see if I can't pour it in a couple different colors and with a tan and do a Neapolitan scoop. I'll see if we can make one like that. Get chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry or cherry, whichever you prefer. I'm hoping this polishes out real nice. We made a nice even taper for the thickness, and if you can see right in here where my thumb is, there's a little relief. So it's not just a straight taper right through there. There's just a relief to be able to put a little pressure on the shoulder right there. Wow, that's a good idea as well. Mint chocolate chip. Darren, have you ever turned the coffee bean blanks? Yeah, I always want ice cream. The smell is wonderful, and that's the only pleasurable part about turning a coffee bean blank. The coffee bean blanks are a terrible pain to make as well. We don't make them very often. Hmm. Good for you, Pam. I'm glad you like them. They're beautiful when they're finished, but they're a dirty pain to turn. Yeah, let's see if we can make a Neapolitan scoop with a cone and shapes on it, and we'll try to make the handle shaped like the scoops of ice cream. We'll do that with the threaded one. I should have some sweet gum pod hybrids very soon. It's just about stabilized. Looks like we're ready to move on. The cinnamon stick blanks, we do. They're a little easier to turn palm if the coffee beans are stabilized. A little cleaner as well. Do I have you convinced yet, Palm, to switch to Zona paper? I buy the packs and cut it down ourselves. If you would like to try it, just reach out to me and I can send you a sample with your next blank order. Therefore, you wouldn't have to buy a whole pack if you're just wanting to try it out. Yeah, a lot of people don't stabilize it. Zona paper convert. Yeah, I'll never go back to anything else. Okay, up to the next speed. Look at that. I've got Steve and Glenn and even the turn master Pond himself converted to Zona paper. I feel accomplished. You can see a lot of beautiful color rolling around in there. Sure. I gladly will turn the pen crystal. We can discuss it in a PM. No problem. Thank you very much. We have blown up a lot of resin and a lot of wood to get to this point. Buy stock in Zona paper while you can. We can turn DP pens, but we don't. We don't compete against the people we partner with. But we can gladly turn a writing pen for you. There are other talented turners in the group as well that can. If you pay attention to Unbelievable Blanks, you will see the work of some of those talented turners listed in the pen maker showcase. I believe Steve is in there. Darren has competed. Pon, his skill set is beyond too many that he would be afraid to take the victory every time, so he doesn't compete. Little rinse. Okay. Maybe losing a bearing on that last center. I hear a little noise. The blanks have all been claimed and sent today. The invoices should have went out today as well. And the voting will be the third weekend in March, the last weekend in March. So we do that Sunday. I apologize, I don't have a calendar to look at the date. I totally agree with you, Darren. I'm glad to see so many people get involved. It's a good way to show off each other's skill set and help each other only get better with time. I used to take care of Mountaineer Field for the WVU Mountaineers, and they had a sign in there that said, "Only iron can sharpen iron." A lot of good turners, and they help each other grow their skill sets. The competition is there to help each other grow and showcase the many talents of the people that are in that group. And if you're looking to have a writing pen made or diamond pen, there are plenty of people in the group that do that, and the showcase is a good way to see whose style you like. How does it look? Look okay? I will gladly share any turning knowledge anyone asks for. We are not stingy with it. I knew what it was like when I started, and there was a lot of misinformation and not a lot of help, and we gladly will share that with anybody that asks for it. Pretty sweet. Our time is just about up, but I'll show you what the assembly looks like. And I will put the two-part epoxy in it this evening. And tomorrow, you can get a good look at it in the group as to what the final result look like. Anybody has any color suggestions for another ice cream scoop? We can gladly turn another one on any live. They're kind of fun. We like them. My kids love them. My wife loves them. So it's always a win. Bear with me here. I'm going to change AirPods. This other set just died. Ah, good job, Steve. That's awesome. Glad to see that. All right. Thanks, everyone, for following and watching the live. We will see you next week. And I apologize. There won't be any drops the rest of the week, but we've got a few things to catch up on and get ready for next week. Once again, this is what we made this evening. Be sure to show you here, lay it out. The ice cream scoop, the diamond pen. And the beautiful writing pen. I would say that was a productive 2 hours. Yeah, I bet you can't wait to get your box in the mail as well. Thank you very much. Thanks everyone for joining. Hey, thanks, Steve. Be sure to send me some pictures of the red, white, and blue Fordite. Yes, Ruth, you did order one of these blanks. Thank you very much. And be sure to join us next week. Thank you.